Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Enlightened Entrepreneur. Today I'm joined by a gentleman that I respect and met recently, and he has got some very important stuff regarding money, which I thought you will find very, very useful, especially when you are running your business during those early days of running your business. And the gentleman I have with me is Alvin. Now, Alvin is a certified financial planner and a managing partner of a district capital management, a new kind of a financial planning and investment management firm for everyday people. He's also an adjunct assistant professor at University of Maryland University College, where he enjoys teaching students about business finance there, and we're going to talk about that as well shortly. And during his spare time, Alvin plays guitar and ultimate frisbee. Welcome to the interview, Alvin.
Thank you, Yukai. I'm so glad to be here.
Oh, thank you for taking time to, to spend time with us, teaching business owners about finances. And today, my hope is to really talk about the critical skills every business owner needs to have and develop in order for them to manage their finances well. So to get us started, Alvin, could you tell us a bit about your background, how you got started in the financial planning industry, and where you are, what you are actually doing right now, so that our audience can understand who you are and how they can relate with you?
I'm happy to do that, Yukai. I went to graduate school in Johns Hopkins back in 2002. I studied development economics, but it wasn't actually after that that I really pursued my interest in personal finance and investing. And once I decided to do that, I did a ton of studying, you guys. So I enrolled in the Chartered Financial Analyst program, which takes 3 years to pass. So I got my charter in 2009. And then I started in 2011, I started my career as a financial planner. Initially started working for a startup financial planning firm. And while I was doing that, I also took the Certified Financial Planning Program, or CFP, and I passed that board exam in 2013. And yes.
Awesome. And you are now a managing partner in district capital management, which is, I was checking out your website earlier on before we went live on, and it says your financial security starts with you. Talk to us about, what you've been up to with that company and how you are helping everyday people, like everyday business owners, like in our audience today.
So we've been working with middle-class professionals and small business owners, Yukai, and just helping them take control of their finances. And what that means is we help them come up with a budget, a plan to retire with security, help them get out of credit card debt, and help them invest and grow their money.
Right. And you've been doing this successfully. Are there any successful stories that you can share with our audience, how your skill has helped, everyday business owners, to really do well in their business?
Well, a lot of small business owners focus most of their time in growing their small business, but they often forget to take care of their personal finance. And what that means, for example, is a lot of small business owners are not thinking or saving for retirement. And at least the people that I've worked with, we started with them having nothing to now they have something saved up for retirement and are investing it in a way that's smart.
Beautiful. Excellent. And that's one of the reasons we were so glad to have you on the call. When I was talking to my assistant and they said, oh, we've got a financial planner who has got a track record. And I thought that would be great because, all our business owners, the audience, really need some guidance when it comes to knowing what is critical. You know as well as I do, I think from our previous conversation, Alvin, that if business owners manage their personal finance well, then the rest will become much easier to do that. Would you expand on that for a moment?
A lot of small business owners, they intermingle their personal finance and their business finances. So I think one of the first things that I ask them to do is to separate out that. So just having a simple thing as having a separate business account and accounting system,
Right.
and go a long way. And in terms of developing a spending plan, both for your business and for your personal finance issues, would go a long way to making sure your finances are sound.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm taking notes as you speak, as well as I find out that moments like this, experts like yourself always have got some very important things to share, and I'm hoping our audience are doing exactly the same thing. Now, to get us started into the critical skills that you see business owners needs to develop, talk to us how you discovered certain skills in your years of learning and also teaching business at university. Maybe identify what those skills are.
I think the very first important skills that we all should have is just being aware of the impact of the things we do on our credit score. Credit score is very important in the United States in getting access to small business loans.
Right.
And the second thing is smart tax planning.
Right. Let's dive deeper into the first one, being aware of what it is that you're doing that affect your credit scoring, and then we can move on to smart tax planning. Can you expand a bit more about the first point?
So Yuka, more than half of US adults here in the United States have subprime credit scores. What that means is when they go and try to take out a loan, they either will get denied or they will get charged with a high interest and thus pay more. So for small business owners, it's very important that we know the things that affect our credit score and work to take steps to improve that over time. So we're talking about potential savings of tens of thousands of dollars here.
Right.
And the very most important thing that small business owners need to be aware of is just paying bills on time. It doesn't matter if you're paying the full balance or just minimum payment. If you have a late payment, it's gonna stay in your credit report for 7 years, and creditors will see that for the whole time, and it will raise red flags if you have a late payment.
Incredible. So, there you have it, business owners. You just want to pay it on time. Put it on auto payment if you can, to make sure that you don't miss those payments, even a small payment, like you say. Is there anything else that they need to be aware of, Alvin?
They should really only carry balances if they have a credit card, not more than 10%. They should not use more than 10% of their credit limit. If they're in a bind, maybe they can use 20 to 30% of your credit limit. So for example, if I have a credit line of $10,000, for example, and if I'm using $8,000 or 80% of that credit line, again, that raises red flags for creditors. They might see me as someone who is really in a bind, and they're not going to extend credit to me if that's the case.
Incredible. This is very, very, very useful. Suppose somebody is already in using more than 10% or 20% of that. What are the necessary steps do we need to take to make this right?
So it goes back to the point I mentioned earlier in our conversation, Yukai, about developing a spending plan. because what you would want to do is to develop a way to start paying off that credit card debt, such that it goes down to about 10% of your credit limit. And or sometimes you can take out a personal loan from your bank that has a lower interest rate and pay off your credit card debt that has a higher interest rate. There's several different ways about it, but I think if you have a spending plan in place, then you can take steps, Yukai, in terms of bringing that debt down and improving your score.
Incredible. Is there anything else around that area which you feel the business owners need to know before we move on to the next part of the necessary skill business owners needs to develop?
I think the last thing I'd like to bring up is we should not cancel our old credit cards. Credit report bureaus, they want our credit history to be long. And even though we're not using those credit cards that we opened back in college, we should keep them open because it's working for us.
Incredible. I didn't know that. You're bringing some really, really good information. So you're telling me that those people that say, oh, I don't want any credit, and they cancel everything, they're actually beginning to miss out.
Exactly, Yukai. And when I didn't know all of these things, I did that because I had no idea how these would impact their credit scores. But that's exactly right. So keep your old cards open.
Wow. Incredible. Okay, let's jump on to the next skill, Alvin, that we as business owners needs to master and develop in order to to win when it comes to the financial planning.
That's right. So I mentioned tax planning, Yukai, and
Yes.
As a critical skill that small business owners should think about. It actually comes to mind. I work with a small business owner. She runs a photography business out in California, and when someone pays you and you keep it, the thing is, if once tax season comes, then if they don't pay taxes on a regular basis throughout the year, once tax season comes, they get a big tax bill.
Right.
And included in that are penalties for not making regular tax payments. So essentially what I'm saying is small business owners need to pay regular amounts of taxes throughout the year, because it's different as a small business owners. If you're an employee, your employer takes out federal and state taxes for you automatically, and that's not the case for small business owners.
Right. Incredible. That's another revealing point. And I'm sure we, here in the UK, business owners are also affected by that. Sam, we, what we did, when we were starting World Outsourcing Solution, we hired somebody who straight away, right from the beginning, because we knew we were going to be in the business for a long time, and we assigned somebody to do that. So we never had to have to keep going back and from to say, well, where is it? We just need to know that on these dates, everything is paid up to, everything should be in line, really.
Smart. That was a smart move, guy.
Yes. It was my, well, it wasn't my deal, really. It was my accountant who said, let's get this done. It was one of you, so to speak.
That's right. Go ahead.
Let me ask you, you now run a business. We'll go back to the financial aspect in a moment. How important is having an outsider help you or work with you, maybe as a mentor or as an advisor? How is that important? Or somebody who is a tax planner helping you? How is that important for us business owners, especially when we are getting started?
I think it's very important, Yukai, for small business owners to work with an expert or a professional. Like, for example, myself, there are things that I am just not an expert of, or actually I don't even know. For example, when I was starting, I don't know anything about social media and online marketing. And so I reached out to an expert, and so now we do Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff. And it's the same for small business owners. If they reach out to professionals that have an expert in one area, then it's the return is going to be significant.
Absolutely. We have figured this out in our own business as well, that it is the fastest way to get to where you want to get to. If you do it all by yourself, you are limited. There are some wise people, very clever people around that you can outsource the work to, and they'll do a great job in that. Let's go back to the financial planning. We have spoken about two skills already. Is there a third skill that you feel, as an advisor, that business owners like myself and many in our audience today needs to develop so that they do well in their business?
I think small business owners really should start thinking about and planning for their retirement.
Right.
Here in the United States, 40% of the population do not even have retirement savings. And I think that there's actually a retirement crisis in this country. One study showed that 75% of near retirees only have less than 30,000 in their retirement accounts, and that's not going to last them very long. And so as small business owners, we need to be smart and start saving a little bit, just a little bit towards our retirement. And there are a lot of ways to save for retirement in a smart way, Yukai.
Incredible. Let's just explore those several ways which you've just mentioned, maybe 2 or 3 ways that we can actually implement right now, to get us started on this, road to saving the money for retirement.
So a lot of people, when they think about retirement, is they might put some money in the bank or start buying some stocks. And I think there's significantly better ways of doing that in a way that's also tax advantage. For example, here in the United States, if you open a Roth IRA, your investment will grow tax-free, and when you take the money out, you also do not pay any taxes on the earnings that you did. And there are other options for small business owners specifically. Now we're getting a little bit technical. It's called solo 401k or SEP IRA. They're acronyms that stand for something, but essentially what these vehicles are, they allow us small business owners to save money and grow our money, and that it's going to be tax deferred.
Right. Incredible. So we have touched 2 ways. Is there any one more way here, Alvin, that the business owners can look at? Or do you know any website or certain resources that business owners can say, look, I have never heard of that. Where can I get that information?
The most respectable objective resource for investing, Yukai, is called the CFA Institute. It's the Chartered Financial Analyst Institute. They're a global body that gives out the CFA program, which, as I mentioned, I'm a CFA charter holder. And in their website, they have a 4-pager there on smart retirement planning. So I encourage them to look for it. Google CFA Institute retirement planning. We've also listed that particular link in our company's website.
Excellent. Can we have your company's website so that it's easier for our audience to be able to go there as well?
Yes, so it's the name of our firm, so they can go to www.districtcapitalmanagement.com.
Excellent. And they will be able to find the link for CFA Institute.
Exactly. Yes, it's going to be under our resources page.
Incredible, incredible. Okay, let's go back. If somebody's happen to be stuck on on a retirement plan, they don't know how to get started. Other than what you have mentioned here, what other things can they do to just get off and get going with this?
In when you're an employee for a firm, some firms have started to automatically set aside some of your paycheck and invest it in what's called a target date fund. What that means is, let's say based on my age, I'm going to retire in 2050.
Right.
And so what that target date fund in that retirement plan does is it invests as if I was going to retire by 2050.
Okay.
And it's going to automatically diversify my investments. So small business owners can also do that from themselves. If they don't know how to invest their retirement savings, they can just choose a target date fund.
Incredible. Awesome. Really appreciate the level of knowledge you're sharing with us here today, Alvin. It's it's really such a privilege, and I hope our audience, just like I'm doing, will be able to visit your site and take notes and implement these things again. And remember, guys, if you don't implement this stuff, nothing happens. It takes just a simple implementation for you to see the results, whatever you are doing. Let's jump on to the mindset, Alvin. What is the perfect mindset a business owner should have about developing these skills when it comes to financial planning?
I think it's about being open, Yukai, being open to the advice that you may hear from retirement experts. There are things that we know that we don't know, and there are also things that we don't know that we don't know.
Absolutely.
And so being open to the advice that experts that can bring to us, and also being able to identify what experts you need to listen to. Here in the United States, when you reach out to a financial advisor, only actually 10% of financial advisors act as fiduciaries, meaning
Right.
they act in the best interest of their clients. 90% they're not required to do so, although there's actually a new law that's being rolled out to address that. So knowing who to reach out to and being open to the advice that they're giving can go a long way in terms of receiving that advice.
Incredible. Now you brought that up, I'm intrigued to know, how do you identify who to go to? What the criteria do you use, Alvin, to say, okay, this is the best person for me to be associated with or to be taking advice from? Because there's many of them out there.
Let me tell you, Yukai. So here in the United States, there's actually more than 200 credentials, financial credentials that people can take and attach to their names. But really, there's only a few there that are really recognized. So you wanna be working and listening to a financial advisor that has those important credentials. And one of the most recognized financial planning credentials here in the United States is the Certified Financial Planning Program, the CFP.
Okay.
Because very first thing is they have sworn an oath to act in the best interest of their clients, and they undergo a rigorous curriculum. We take classes on tax planning, estate planning, retirement investments, the whole thing, and we have to pass a board exam for 2 days, and we have to take continuing education credits each year. So we really all should be looking for certified financial planners. And there's actually, the CFP board has a website where, depending on where you are, you can look for the nearest certified financial planner near you.
Awesome. Awesome. That's incredible. And what I love about what we are talking about here is the same information which you teach students at the university, and our audience literally getting the privilege of learning this. And I'm hoping that we are all taking notes and making use of the such great knowledge you're sharing here. Other than that, what else should a business owner consider before they go out and say, I want to work with it? Is it money, how much they charge? Is it the location? What other criteria apart from, their credentials?
So you actually mentioned one of it, Yukai, is how are they getting paid? What's their fee structure? So it's
Okay.
different for each advisor. Some advisors would charge a percentage of the money that a person has. It's called assets under management, and some would get charged by commission.
Right.
Some would charge a fixed fee. So it really depends. It's really important that you know how they're getting compensated, so you know what their incentives are. Are they aligned with your incentives?
Incredible. And how do you get this information? Do you just ask them?
You Yeah, you can just straight away ask them. They're required to disclose this information, but
Beautiful.
sometimes it can be hidden in those 30-page documents. So you should just go ahead and ask them how they're compensated.
That's wonderful, because oftentimes it's written in the small print right at the bottom, but you
The
have to really look at it.
That's right, you guys.
I'm having a great time here. Let's talk about how you are running your own business, because you are a business owner in your own right, and you're also helping other business owners.
Exactly.
If knowing what you know now today, if you were to start all over again running your business, what are the two areas that you would have focused more on, that can help you, or that is helping you now to reach your goals?
I think for me, it's about making those connections with other experts in the field. And that's something that I've come to really appreciate. When I was starting out, I had a really good friend and acquaintance. He was also a CFA charter holder, and also quit his job to start his own investment management practice. And the things that I learned from him about starting his own investment advisory firm was really crucial to how we started our own company. So just making those connections with experts, not just in my field, but in other fields as well, can go a really long way.
Incredible. Just to follow up on that, how do you go about finding those experts? I know we seem to be interconnected now with social media, but how do you go about making that genuine connection, which is going to create a mutual beneficial arrangement? If you were to do it again, what would how do you do that, and what would you do?
For me, I'm very fortunate, Yukai. We work at a co-working arrangement in Washington, D.C., where in the space that we work at, we also are able to interact with like-minded social entrepreneurs
Right.
that operate there. And so I'm able to interact with folks that are expert in social media, in marketing. So I'm very fortunate in that way. But for those who do not have that setting, I think it's just a matter of going out there and trying to meet people, and making just those connections. One of the persons that I've come to get close with, I just met her at the birthday party of a friend. She's a realtor, and she knows so much more than I in terms of real estate stuff here in Washington, D.C., that my clients um, can get value if they have questions. So just making those connections whenever possible. You'll never know who you'll meet.
Absolutely, and go out with a mentality of being a giver. I was learning from one of my mentors recently and say, are you, if you have a mentality of being a giver, you go out and want to give more to people that you're interacting, they will reflect that back to you, and the real connection can begin. And listening to things like this, the podcast. So, for example, you are learning a great deal. If, like I am, when you've got a question, you can send Alvin an email. By the way, Alvin, we're going to ask your email address and some other contact information in a moment, so our audience will be able to reach out to you. So, going back to what I was saying, is reach out to individuals like Alvin or our previous podcast and say, I was listening at this podcast. What you shared on this one really resonated with me. I was looking for ways of which we can start. And you know what, Alvin, what I've discovered is people who are doing so well in their business, are not stingy when it comes to sharing information. They are lavish when it comes to sharing information. They want others to know about that. But when I was starting out, I thought, what is it that they won't be able to be part of what I want to do. They won't be able to answer my question. It's totally different. It's amazing.
I totally agree with you, Yukai. I totally agree with you.
Successful people enjoy helping other people.
That's right. That's exactly right, Yukai. And sometimes it's also about just being, in terms of making those connections, just being interested in the stories that people have to share, and also being generous, like what you said, in our own stories where other people can learn from.
Absolutely. And if I'm talking to our audience right now, one other way you can use to make genuine connections is to look out for peer group, or what do we call advisory peer group, or mastermind groups, where you hang out with other people, from different walks of life. And, you, like we do here, is we go through certain books together. Like we just recently finished the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. I read it on my own before, but now that we are ready with a team of other people, certain insights that I had not seen, come to life because we are discussing these things. And that way, I'm finding that I connect with people much more, and the business keeps growing. Let me go back to you, Alvin. I like talking about these things. Let's look at, maybe, is there anything else about financial planning that is important, which I did not ask you about, but you feel our audience will benefit more from it?
Yukai, I think it's just having that mindset to be open to receiving advice. I think personal finance can be a really touchy and personal issue. A lot of people do not like other people to look at their finances. Maybe they are worried or afraid, or they think they already know what they did. And so it's I think it's key for us small business owners to be open to receiving that professional advice from other people.
Incredible. That leads me naturally to want to talk about what you do, so the audience will understand where you are. So talk to me about your company, how you're helping everyday business people with their finances.
So we essentially help small business owners and middle class professionals to take control of, of over their financial lives. And what that means is we work with them very closely, one-on-one. We help them develop spending plans. We help them do their tax planning. We help them plan for retirement, and any other questions that they can ask about their finances. We help them with. Sometimes we actually even help them figure out the pricing scheme of their small business. And really, what working with a financial planner gives us is the ability to have freedom, the freedom to tune out from the 24/7 nonstop financial news roller coaster that we hear, and allows us to focus on what's important to us, our growing our business, our families, and our health. So that's what we try to work with the everyday people and give them that freedom, Yukai.
Incredible. And if people wants to be in touch with you, where can they find you? And can we have your website and all those contact details?
Yes, so the people can go to our website. They can reach out to us through there. Again, it's districtcapitalmanagement.com. So that's capital with an A. And my email address, if they like to email me, it's Alvin, my first name, Alvin, at districtcapm.com. That's districtcapm.com.
Incredible. One final question here for you, Alvin. Uh, how important is this whole financial planning today to a business person, and why is it important that they take action now before things go bad, so to speak? Why is it important that they should act now?
It's really important, Yukai, because it's just smart money. If they work on their finances right, they can actually make more money, save more money, and grow their money better. That's been proven by studies in terms of those who have a comprehensive financial planning in place. This was a study in 2014 that appeared in a journal, was able to grow their wealth 4 times more than those who are just doing it on their own. So the sooner that we act, the sooner that our finances can get solidified and we can have more financial security.
Wonderful. There you have it, guys. Business owners in our audience, from Alvin Carlos, a certified financial planner who's doing real well in his own right. And thank you, Alvin, for being here today and giving a great interview. And I'm sure all our business owners in our audience have a much clearer understanding of the necessary skills they need to succeed with financial planning.
Thank you for having me, Kai.
You're welcome. We hope to be to have you again on the show sometime soon, time permitting. Maybe talking about more advanced strategies, for financial planning for those who wants to keep on developing in their career, and also in their financial planning.
I'm looking forward to it.
Incredible. With that being said, thank you for being here with us. You follow us, consistently, and we appreciate that. And above all, I hope you implement what we've been learning. And just small, tiny step can lead to huge doors, to huge savings, and lead your life better. So I encourage you to implement these as much as I implement them myself. With that say, have a great day, everyone, and I look forward to be with you in another episode of Enlightened. Have a great day, everyone.